So I just wanted to say hello. I hope that you're well. Let's get straight into it. Okay. So in this particular video, I just wanted to invite you to accept that you are amazing just the way you are. Wait a minute, Michelle. Even though I screamed at my kid 5 days ago, even though I did XYZ 10 years ago, you don't know, Michelle, about that thing that I did 20 years ago. I don't care. You are amazing just the way that you are. Why? Because who you are now is not even who you were 2 minutes ago, right? Much less who you were 20 years ago. You are growing, you are learning, you don't have a manual as to how to live life perfectly, okay? Nobody has a manual that tells you how to live life perfectly, minute to minute, moment by moment, okay? So don't ever let people talk to you as if they do. Okay, so that's exactly what happens when we judge and shame other people. When we judge and shame other people, including our children, and let's put that note here. When we judge or shame other people, ourselves, and our children, we are basically saying there is a manual that tells us exactly what to do and how to be moment to moment so that we can be perfect and never make a mistake, right? But that's not the case, okay? So there's nobody on this planet who really can judge you, okay? So but we've been programmed to judge ourselves, right? But we are reprogramming ourselves to accept ourselves the way we did when we were kids, when we were toddlers. We weren't running around when we were toddlers saying, "Oh, my nose, it needs to be fixed," or "Oh, I look so ugly with my hair this way," or "My left toe needs to look better so it can match my right toe," or we weren't walking around just judging ourselves, right? When we were toddlers, we learned to do that, okay? So we are unlearning it. Thankfully, we can unlearn it, and it's going to feel good as we unlearn these things, and as we practice to unlearn these things, and as we implement practical, intentional action steps that help us to unlearn that programming. It's going to feel good because we're going to be going back to what we were before we learned it, and that's going to feel delicious, and you're going to feel like you have more energy and feel more free, because guess what, it takes a lot of energy to do stuff that doesn't feel natural. Have you ever tried to do something like, whenever you try to do something that just doesn't feel natural, nor do you even want to do it, nor do you enjoy doing it, it feels like it takes so much effort. It does. It uses up so much more. It's always going to feel more energetically draining for us to do things that just don't feel good, don't feel true, don't feel natural for us to do, right? Similarly, when you are doing things that lead you to operating in a way that feels more true for you, more natural, that you're more naturally inclined to do, things that really help you to get to know your true self better, it's going to feel freeing. It's going to feel light. It's going to feel clear. It's going to feel fun, right? It's going to feel good. If at the very minimum, it'll feel neutral, but it won't feel like you're suffering, right? So this right here was just an invitation to accept that you are amazing just the way that you are, right? When you judge or shame others or yourself or your children, you are basically saying, "I can't believe you did what you did. Oh my gosh." And you're basically saying there's a manual, and did you not get it? There's a manual that tells you exactly what to do moment to moment, every day of your life, so that you can operate perfectly. And you are not following that manual. Now, if there was a manual, and I've told many of my one-on-one clients this before, I've probably said it in social media posts as well, but I'll say it again right now. If there was a manual that we all received when we came out of our mother's womb that gave us a rundown moment to moment of what to do that would help you to live your life perfectly in every single moment, then maybe judgment would be warranted, because it's like, hello, you got the manual. It told you what to do at 1:37 p.m. on February 12th. You didn't do it. Well, then yes, right? If that's how life was and we had a manual, then it'd be kind of like, whoa, I really wasn't reading. That's not how life is, though. Okay? So we are learning and growing moment to moment. We are learning more and more who we are and what we are here to do moment to moment, and what feels best for us moment to moment, and what feels good for our family units moment to moment. Because mind you, what feels good for your family unit might not, and feels healthy for your family unit, might not be what's healthy and best for the family 3 blocks down or 3 doors down. Right? We're not here to operate and to parent and to experience life exactly the way the next person is. But if you do have an intention to experience peace and joy and happiness, it is your birthright to honor that and to create a parenting style and a lifestyle and a relationship with your partner and with your children that reflects that choice. Now, you choosing peace and happiness and joy is, and what that looks like in your relationships is not going to look exactly what me choosing peace, happiness, and joy looks like in my relationships. And who cares? We're not here to live our lives, to have our lives looking identical. But it is our birthright to experience peace and joy and to support each other in doing so. Okay. So just remember, just a friendly reminder to accept yourself and to remember that you are amazing just the way that you are. No matter what you have done, you are amazing just the way that you are. You've been learning and you're growing, and it's never going to stop. As long as you're breathing, you're going to be learning and you're going to be growing and evolving. And you're also going to be getting more wise in every single second. Okay. Because whatever you've done in the past that you take pride in and both are feeling shameful about, all experience prior to this moment has given you wisdom from that experience. You have learned more about yourself and more about life from that experience. And that's ongoing. When we're done in this session together, we are going to have expanded and evolved even more. You can't escape the fact that you are getting more and more intelligent in every single moment. Okay. Just make sure that you're capitalizing on it, that you're using that wisdom by setting game plans for your future. Right? Dang, I can't believe I did what I did yesterday. I feel so icky. I just can't believe I did that. Oh, okay. Not for me to do that. Next time that happens, I'm going to have the intention to do X, Y, Z instead, which will help me to be more grounded and give me more space to breathe and process so that I can respond the way I want to. It doesn't mean that you're going to actually follow through on that the next time it happens. You might, the more you set the intention, the more likely you are to. But the point is not that you're going to hit it and do it next time 100%. The point is that you're giving yourself permission to get more used to setting intentions, getting more clear about who you are, getting more clear about who you want to be, and having the audacity to set an intention for the future that will cause you to show up the way that you prefer to instead of the way you've been programmed to. Okay? Make sure you are using the wisdom that you are gaining from past experiences. Remember again that when you judge or shame yourself, others, or your children, you are basically believing or operating from a programmed belief that says we all have a manual that's helping us to live life perfectly moment to moment. We don't have that manual. It doesn't exist. So therefore, drop all shame and blame and judgment from yourself, most importantly, and from your past. You've been learning and growing just like you were when you were a child. Oh, Michelle, but I'm 40 years old. I'm supposed to have already gotten it by now. Gotten what? What are you supposed to have gotten by now? You might be 40, 50, 60. Life is still lifing. Things are still happening every day that's blowing everybody's mind on a global front, and things are changing in our bodies, in our life, and in our job roles, and in our life does not care about your age. Life doesn't care that you turned 18, and life is not saying, oh, they're an adult now, so they know everything, they don't need to learn or grow anymore. Life is not saying, oh, they're 21 now, so they're done growing, or they're 60 now, so they're done evolving, they're done growing. Life does not care. Life is still lifing. Life is still hitting us with stuff every single day, giving us opportunities to choose how we want to show up in this world and the type of energy and vibe we want to create our relationships with. You are never going to be exempt from choosing, from making a choice, from growing, from learning, right? So it's never going to be over. There is no destination. There is just starting to have more fun on this highly transformative journey that we call parenthood. and ultimately life. Okay? Have fun. Find ways to have fun with this. You can start by making sure that you don't go to sleep without doing something that either makes you laugh or brings joy to your day or brings peace to your day. Might as well have a blast while we're here. Might as well have some fun every day while we're here. Okay? Might as well. And you deserve to. There will always be something more you could be doing or something others could say you should be doing. That doesn't stop. That's why I just be yourself and do what you want and do and follow your heart and do what resonates. Do what resonates and take what resonates from others and throw away the rest and don't do things that don't resonate with you. That's freedom. Because guess what? You will never do enough to not have people telling you what you should or should not be doing instead. You can say, okay, if I do all of this, then these people will like me, accept me. And guess what? You do all of this and you are still going to have people who are going to tell you, well, why didn't you do it that way? Or well, you should have done it this way. So please, if you haven't already, start now to practice stop caring what other people think and to focus more on what resonates with you and what feels good with you and what feels good to your relationship with your children and to the relationship with your partner and to the home environment that you are here to create. Focus on that because you will always have somebody out there who could criticize and condemn you. And their criticism and their condemnation will just be a reflection of the fact that they have not given themselves permission yet to realize that they too are perfect just the way that they are. Amazing just the way that they are. Perfect in their evolution, right? Perfection in their growth. Just like the oak tree when it was a seed was perfect the way it was. It wasn't the full oak tree yet, but it was still perfect the way it was in its evolution. The same goes for you. Okay? If you're talking to people who are not aware of that, do not expect them to be able to articulate that to you. If you're talking to people who are not prioritizing their happiness and their peace and their joy, then do not expect them to speak to you in a way that reflects that they are. Okay? Focus more on how you're speaking to yourself and what you're creating within your relationships than anything else. And if it feels good to you, keep going. If something doesn't feels off to you in what you're creating in your life, switch it up, change it, get clear about what you want, and give yourself permission to be open to receiving that and to that being something that you experience. But don't care about what other people think or their opinions, especially people who are not in your home or who are not relating to you in that intimate type of way. Focus on how you feel, follow your heart, and do not judge or shame yourself. Instead of judging and shaming yourself, practice showing yourself grace and mercy and practice actually speaking to yourself that way. Not just, oh, this is a moment where I should be showing myself grace or mercy, which is actually a way of speaking to yourself positively, but really give it to yourself. Talk to yourself. We have been programmed and conditioned to speak so powerfully and empoweringly and motivationally to others. But your life does not change and transform until, guess what? Until you are speaking to yourself that way. You can speak as powerfully to people all you want to. You can speak as lovingly to other people as you want to. But if you are still being mean to yourself and speaking to yourself as though you are not amazing just the way that you are, if you are not showing yourself compassion and love, then you're shooting yourself in the foot. All of that love and inspiration you want to give to everyone else, give it to them. You are here to shine your light. You are here to be a beacon of what's possible in this world. But make sure that you're also giving that to yourself as well, especially when you're triggered, especially when you're feeling low. Practice speaking to yourself optimistically. Practice speaking to yourself as if you were your child coming to you facing that specific problem. I don't know if you've already heard me speak on that particular game plan, but what it is when you're triggered or when you're angry or when you're faced with a problem in life, ask yourself, what would I tell what advice would I give my child if they were coming to me with the same situation? Use that game plan to help you to pull that wisdom from you that is there. It is there. When I tell you you are a genius, when I tell you you are brilliant, I am not trying to boost your ego or flatter you. I don't have time for that, and I don't make time for it. And that would feel real icky to me if I was doing it. When I tell you you are a genius and that you are brilliant, I mean that is who and what you are at your core. And every single time that you are triggered or faced with a problem that feels unbearable, no matter how small or big it is, when you say to yourself, okay, if my child or somebody that you love a lot, right? Best friend, whoever was experiencing this, what advice would I give them in this moment? And sit and let that wisdom come through you and apply it to your life. Okay. So are you ready to accept that every step of the journey you are amazing? Are you ready to accept that every step of the journey you are amazing? Not just when you got the award at work, not just when you got the raise or the bonus, not just when you met your quarterly whatever for your job or your business, not just when your child is wowing their grandparents and making your grandparents feel proud. Are you ready to accept that you are amazing every step of the journey? Are you ready to accept that you never had to have to earn love, peace, joy, or confidence and knowing you are loved by your creator? What's my creator, Michelle? What are you talking about? Okay, I don't care what you believe it is, whether it's God, the universe, whether it's the Big Bang and something huge happened many, many thousands, millions, billions, trillions of years ago that made it to where we are now here in this session together. You're watching this video, I'm creating this video. Whatever you think caused this to happen, whatever you think is causing the blood to flow through my body without my effort, causing my nails and my hair to grow without any effort on my part, whatever you think gets all the credit for lifing, and for the air that we breathe, and for our organs functioning the way that it is, whatever you think gets the credit for you being alive right now, from the moment you were born to you being alive and well and healthy right now, whatever you think gets the credit for that, remember that you didn't have to do anything to earn all that it's given you. You don't have to do anything to earn your next breath, this breath that you're breathing now. You don't have to earn love. You don't have to earn peace or joy. You are worthy of it because you exist. You are worthy. We've been programmed and conditioned to believe that you have to work for it. You don't. You don't. Give yourself permission to accept your innocence and your purity. Right? It's easy to think that you're not innocent and pure because of things you may have done or said in the past. But when you give yourself permission to remember that you've been learning and growing, just like a newborn, just like a toddler, it's never stopped. You've always been worthy of the love and embrace and gentleness and kindness that toddlers and newborns get. You've never stopped being worthy of that type of love and compassion. Your purity never went anywhere. You've always done what you felt was best for you to do based on how you've been programmed and conditioned by this society and environment. Do not wait for this world to validate you. My words and words from other people who encourage and support you might feel great and delicious, but guess what's more delicious and more great? It's when you give yourself permission to speak this way to yourself. Do not wait for this world to validate you before you give yourself permission to walk with your head held high, knowing that you are loved and supported, and knowing that there's nothing that you cannot do on this planet. Do not wait for this world to validate you. You are never going to have the 8+ billion people on the planet, all of them looking at you and in approval. And you have to remember that people can only love you genuinely to the degree that they love themselves genuinely. Do not expect people to give you what they are not cultivating within themselves. Do not wait on this world to show you love and kindness and compassion and to shower abundance all over you before you give yourself permission to know that you're worthy of it. Know that you're worthy of it first. Give it all to yourself first, so that when we and other people in this world give it to you, it's just a bonus, just a reminder, but nothing that you need. Give yourself permission to accept that you've always been doing the best that you can. Even when you do that thing and you think that you're doing it on purpose, I'm just going to do this to do them on purpose because of what they did to me. It might look like you're doing that on purpose and that it's like, no, Michelle, I could have done better. No, no. You are literally doing in that moment. As humans, we do what we feel is best for us in any given moment. If in that moment you could have chosen forgiveness and compassion, and if in that moment it would have felt easy and accessible for you to choose it, then you would have. You are always doing the best you can, even and especially when it looks like you weren't. Stop shaming and judging yourself for anything you've done in the past. Anything. And give yourself permission instead to acknowledge that you, just like your children, are doing the best that you can from where you're at, where your level of awareness is, and that you're constantly evolving, constantly expanding, constantly learning and growing, and let that excite you. Use the things you feel shame about to inspire you so that you can start doing things that you feel good about, so that you can start setting intentions to do things that feel good and true for you. Your past does not define you. It never will. What you choose now is what defines you. And lucky for us, now is all there is. So the past keeps on dropping off. And every now moment, you keep on having a new decision that you get to make. You are not bound by the past. The past is gone. Keep choosing consciously and intentionally who you are. Create your own parenting style in a way that feels true for you, based on the clarity that you receive when you do things that don't feel good to you. Accept yourself just the way that you are, as best as you can. You are amazing just the way that you are. Peace.